I'm proud that we were able to have JP Morgan involved. I'm proud that JP Morgan makes room for groups like Mercury and Silicon Valley Bank. And you folks are all working with each other in other areas, despite the fact we compete sometimes, but we collaborate as well. So thank you.
Yeah, competition is great. And the ecosystem, quite honestly, needs the Mercury and the SVBs in the world. And so I think it's great when we're all here together, working together and collaborating.
Okay, so let's talk about the JP Morgan banking business and tell us, as if we've never heard the story, about how you got into life sciences and then what do you do for JPM?
Start with how I got into life sciences. I started in this world as a private banker right out of college. My first client was a life science VC. And quite honestly, I didn't know much about life sciences. I was a pre-vet major for a while until they told me I wasn't smart enough for vet school. So I quickly switched to finance and did that for about 20 plus years, largely cash management, private wealth for VCs and life science execs. So got to know that. And I know a lot of you that are in Minneapolis here know the life science ecosystems. I call it Hotel California. Once you get in, you can't check out. It's a pretty small community. And then JP Morgan started this group about 5 years ago and reached out to me to help with the Minnesota ecosystem. And really my job day in, day out is to become growth partners with early stage life science companies. We use the commercial bank as the vehicle to start that relationship. But and I've talked about this in the bullpen, if I meet with you, I talk about it. What I try to utilize is the external ecosystem as well as the JP Morgan ecosystem. And that's my relationships with VCs, fellow bullpen members, and then obviously the JP Morgan ecosystem from the investment banking perspective, the research team, et cetera. If a question comes to me, I could usually find it within the JP Morgan life science ecosystem.
So you are involved authentically within the life sciences community, not just on the banking side, which we need that piece as founders, entrepreneurs. So thank you for providing that piece. But you're also sitting on a board, I believe, of an association. You're doing this community building. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. We had grown, but I had built out the Colorado ecosystem. So I sit on the Colorado Bioscience Association, which is, if you're in Minnesota, you know Medical Alley. It's kind of I would say about 5 to 7 years behind Medical Alley from a growth perspective, but it's, the Colorado ecosystem. I want to promote Minnesota here too, but it's great. It's blowing up. It's doing well. And a lot of that has to do with CBSA and then the bullpen. And just really, I'm a big believer in the rising tide raises all ships. And that's the part of the job. Don't tell Jamie Dimon, I really don't get excited about treasury management or credit or normal banking stuff. But I love this connecting and helping companies raise money, grow, whatever it is to get them from A to Z.
So we wanted to bring Bullpen back to our hometown and really bring some resources to Bullpen members because we believe we have a very rich community filled with resources that can help all of you. But to bring our community Bullpen resources as well. We will be at Tulane University over Halloween.
It's my birthday, by the way.
That is. Yeah. The 31st is?
31st, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, he's never been to Bourbon Street.
I've known Christian for 30 plus years. There's a reason I didn't go out last night.
Not true. So we have Tulane University's Bio on the Bayou, and James Zanowitz is here, the Chief Strategy Officer for Tulane. We invite all of you to get involved. But then we have a big event in January, which kind of started everything, which is the JP Morgan Conference.
Yeah, yeehaw.
How do I get a ticket, Phil? How do I get in?
I think that was the genesis of this whole bullpen, actually. But, and I just had this conversation this morning with Terrence, I believe. Really the best part of the conference is what goes on externally. I think most of us that have been out there understand that. And I just set my first meeting yesterday, January 13th, 14th. So that tells you how much we're preparing for it right now. And knock on wood, it's such a great conference to go out there and network, get to know investors, get to know your colleagues. It's really, this is a microcosm, I believe, of what goes on out there. But I will say this, to get a ticket to the event, you're most likely close to an exit or have already exited. The investment bank hands out all the tickets. We at the commercial bank we don't get any tickets. So if you came to me and said, hey, we want a ticket, I would have to go through the investment bank. So, but that being said, like I offered up to Terrence earlier, and I'll offer it up to any of you, feel free to reach out to me. I will try to shepherd you through on how to make the most of those 3.5 days. It truly is a special week, other than the fact you'll come home Thursday or Friday and be sick. But
it'll rain the whole time and you'll get sick
that too. Yeah.
So we'll be at the Golden Gate Yacht Club.
Yes.
That's Larry Ellison's club. He's won a couple America's Cups out of that club. A pretty cool place, right?
Very cool. And having to fight through coffee shops for years, it's really nice having a central location. And it's, everybody takes Ubers, everybody nowadays. So being away from the hotel, the main conference, isn't a negative, I don't think. In fact, I think it's a positive. Get you in a nice free space, so to speak. That's not free, but you know what I mean. So,
well, Phil, we have known each other a long time, and I really appreciate your leadership in my life, in the bullpen, and within our industry. So thank you so much for making this happen.
And thanks for really doing all the legwork and making this thing happen. This is awesome.
So let's give Phil a round of applause.
Thanks.